Farfetch crazy. Oh my. Okay. I don't know actually if the chat is going to work because I see that the YouTube chat for some reason has the monkey. I've tried to reload the page, but it's still there. So I'm hoping it's only for me and that I'm going to also see the chat just in the chat window generally. Okay. Some music. I'm trying to dodge some of the stuff. Hello, Mato. Hello. Hi, hi. How are you, sweetie? Hi, hi. Good. Good to hear that. I actually decided to start redoing the pages. Really good. Oh, is that so? Yep. Okay. So, tell me. Are we planning on doing something? Drawing anything? Working on anything? Alrighty. Alright. Okay. So you think I've got everything? So I guess you can... Little Dev needs to be finished. Nice. That's nice. Just give me a second. We still have people, you know, coming in. So I'm going to just plug my phone. Now as my phone is plugged, I can... Hi T, good to be here. How are you? Hope everything's going. I'm free today. Hey, let's go. Let's go, actually. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. Okay. Unfortunately, for me, it's just the middle of the week, but it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, my dude. So yeah, it's just half of the week. We are doing our best. We're, you know, yeah, we're just working on some stuff at work. I'm just, you know, doing my best to work around some things at work. But yeah, we'll see how's that going to go. So we are going to continue doing this stuff. We are going to work on the pages. I actually want to rework some things, and this is the first rework. Like, I want to redo some part of the character over here and there. So just slowly we're going to work on stuff. And team, tell me, please, are you going to work on something today then, since you're free today? Oh yeah. I see. So yeah, I'm working on my webtoon, my manga. I want to. Oh yeah, I'm free as in I'm obligated to do any favors or anything. Yeah. But artistically I'm doing magma right now. I see. I'm making my manga. So we'll see how's that going to go with it. So what are you going to draw, T? Oh. Like, They don't go outside the box. I'm a bit disappointed that most of my drawings are very small scale, like they don't go outside the box. I mean, it's not really that difficult to dive into that, to be fair. But it's definitely something to, like, you know, to work on. Like, you need to get used to that yourself, you know? God damn it. And personally today just chilling mostly. Yesterday we've done the sketch. I really like the sketch. I have deer. Let me show you what I mean. I sent it in Discord. Sure. I see. Like, here's the thing, like, there is an easy way to go about it, because there's an easy way and a hard way. When I was learning, I went for the hard way, unfortunately, because I've learned, you know, the entire anatomy. I was drawing static poses, I was drawing, you know, just generally, you know, I was doing my learning really slowly. But there is more optimal way for that. Actually, this is also something I've mentioned. Like one of the things that can really help you with like letting the characters like, you know, move outside the box, like make that imitation of third dimension. Because mind you, you are drawing, it's always going to be 2D, right? Drawing actually in, well, dynamic poses means making a illusion, an imitation of third dimension. This third dimension doesn't exist. Those characters doesn't really extend their hands. You are making an illusion that so they would look like it. And that's something that a lot of artists are like lagging on, because they are not accepting the fact that it's not going to be the third dimension, right? They're going to think of it like, oh hey, it's a third dimension. No, it's not. It's an illusion, and illusions are working differently, right? And to actually learn making dynamic poses like this, I can recommend going with like, you know, 3D shapes, right? Like this. It's still the same thing. It's absolute perfect way to learn, because you're learning everything, right? You're learning everything. That's literally it. I think it's more of a bad habit. I mean, is it? I can imagine it. Well, just because you can imagine it doesn't mean you can draw it. There's a difference. It's just my default is what I learned first. Yeah, but here's the thing. If you're not practicing something, if you are not drawing it, even though you can imagine it, even though you have theory, it doesn't mean you are going to be able to draw it. Because it's practice that teaches you. Art is a physical skill. So you need to practice it. So you literally need to practice it to actually improve on it, right? So even though you are going to... This is more or less how I thought. Like the way how you are thinking is literally how I was thinking too. The issue being the fact that even though you are learning, you are reading, God knows how much, it's just reading is not going to improve your artwork, you know? It's drawing that improves your artwork. You need to draw with reference photos, you need to learn theory and apply it right after, because that's how you're learning art, right? You need to, it's like applied theory, as a matter of fact. If you really have to like pick up the science terminology, for example, right? It's an applied theory. Otherwise, you are not going to learn it. If you're not going to apply it. So you might have it as your default because your brain knows that your hand coordination is not catching up with your imagination. Also, that's why so many artists are making, you know, memes or, you know, venting about the fact that they can imagine such a advanced artworks, yet they are not capable to pour it onto the paper. This is, as a matter of fact, a thing. Your imagination can be further than your physical skills. So yeah, like, you know, like I actually think I can imagine it. Yeah, but like, just because you can imagine it doesn't... I'm using mouse to draw. Like, just because you can imagine it doesn't mean you're going to be actually capable to replicate it, right? Like, people can imagine many different things, but it's that I almost never imagine something grand scale. Like, you know, the thing is, like, your imagination doesn't necessarily gives off your physical skills that you apply to your artworks. So you can imagine even a second, you know, second Mona Lisa. But for example, if you're never going to train your artistic skills, your physical skills, your hand coordination, you are not going to be able to replicate what you're imagining. That's what I'm trying to explain, right? So like, yeah, sure, you can imagine it, but it doesn't mean that your hand is going to be able to replicate what you're imagining. That's, you know, something that it's always good to keep in mind, because, like, you know, some people also are not capable to imagine, right? Like, I have aphantasia personally. I cannot imagine simply. I don't have that kind of imagination factor in my brain, right? I don't see the images within my head. But that doesn't mean I cannot draw. That doesn't mean I can't create something out of nothing. I can. It just comes difficult for me because I have to draw things kind of in a way that, well, I compensate lack of imagination by creating book-like descriptions of the characters. That's why I think I might be a bit better in making commissions, because I can do things without imagining the thing myself, right? So someone can just describe something to me and I still would be able to draw that thing because I know how this thing is described, right? And also that just the sake that I don't have imagination slowed down my progress in drawing drastically, right? Because imagination is a tool that allows you to start skipping reference photos at certain point. Because you always should use reference photos. Reference photos are your friends, right? So it's important to use them. And like, sure, you can. The reason why I say that I use mouse is because it takes hand-eye coordination. I'm trying to say that I can draw to my imagination's content, but, well, if there's a but, that means you're not capable to. I don't imagine a big catch. I don't think big. Well, to be fair, here's the thing. To actually promptly assess your full skills, I would need your finished artworks, because I've seen some sketches, I think, right? I've seen you drawing in progress, but I'm not capable to actually help you exactly because I'm not seeing your finished. I haven't seen your finished pieces, and you actually assess someone's skills based on finished pieces, right? But if you are, for example, struggling, well, if, for example, you say that you're capable to draw to your imagination's contempt, but you are also saying that you are not, like, imagining big, that might also mean that, you know, that it's, your imagination is kind of trying to, like, subconsciously restrict your creation, or you might actually start getting into hypophantasia, because to be fair, people can lose imagination over time. That's something that has been recently found out, because if people are not using their imagination to a certain extent, or they are not like, they are not trying to push it to the limits, they are not retaining the imagination on certain levels. That means the imagination kind of starts to dissolve, and the brain is not fully, you know, pushing through pushing through certain aspects, right? It's like the thing with flea. If you are going to take the flea and close it in a jar, and you are going to leave it for, like, I don't know, 5-6 hours, and you're going to open the jar, the flea is not going to jump above the lid, right? even though it could jump above the lid freely before that. That means you are kind of like bottling yourself, you are limiting yourself. At times, you are doing this subconsciously. Like you can try to find inspirations, looking for reference photos, trying to create, you know, imagine that thing, right? You can like train your imagination. But the thing is that imagination mostly is your visual library. If you are not drawing, if you are not training your imagination with reference photos, your visual library is going to be restricted, and you are not going to be able to think big, as you mentioned it, right? Like you won't be able to imagine big. You need to sit down, for example, and sketch or draw for a while big illustrations, but with reference photos, right? Like, I don't know, you can look at Wulup, Samda's art, Rino Tuna's artworks, etc., and like absorb what they are doing, absorb their like illustrations, right? Although if you look at it, the like even Samda's art, you can kind of see that he is kind of restricting himself to certain extensions. I'm kind of like going for his channel, and he did mention it, that he noticed that a lot of his artworks are kind of repeating each other, right? Like they're really similar. And he is, you know, working on that. It's something that many like huge artists like even very experienced ones, like Sanda's art, have problems with like restricted imagination. Some don't have imagination like me. There are like manga artists, story writers, other like, you know, illustration artists that doesn't have imagination, right? And mind you, aphantasia has been discovered only in 2016. It's still fresh topic. So come to that fact, it's really important to kind of like figure out your direction, what you want to go for, and find reference photos of those things, right? Because then you are going to feed your imagination, you are going to expand your visual library. Your imagination is going to have more things to work with, and then you are going to be able to imagine big stuff. Take your time, man. Take your time. You're still young, and art takes time. Like, masters are becoming masters at around like 60s. There's, you know, there's 60s, 70s, 80s, right? For a reason. It's not because like, you know, oh, it's like, you know, they think that younger people are not capable to do that. No, it's because art takes time, takes a really long time. And that's why you become a master in such an old age at that point. Right? But I can see where you are going, right? Like, I can see where you are going. But yeah. Hi Zev, glad to have you here. How are you, friend? How's it going? Hi. Reference photos are your friend? Yes, exactly. Reference photos are your friend. If you have imagination or not, reference photos are your friends. They are for the win. Did you say hi to Zev? Yeah, just a second ago. Actually, so sorry for, you know, those like information flows. I hope that ain't a problem. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. I see. Yeah, sorry for those, like, you know, for those information flows. I hope it's not like it's not too much, or that it's not info dump. Yeah, like info dump. Sorry for that. Like, I'm very I'm up for critic. It ain't a problem. I'm up for critic. Actually, I don't think it could be accessible for for like a proper critic. It's more like trying to explain how certain aspect works. For example, in learning art, because to be fair, you don't really hear about those things. Like, you don't hear about the fact that your brain is learning how something looks like from reference photos or anything like that, you know. And to be fair, very few people are up to the task to like spend a lot of time to just sit down and learn about like human learning for art, right? Or how, or like what kind of skill art is. And also, a lot of information is gatekept by people. Bobber, let's go. I am. Yep. We are going slowly. Who's that Pokemon? What do you mean a Pokemon? It's Pikachu! It's Batman! I miss Zaga. I miss him too. Where is he? I think asleep, I see. Okay. It shouldn't be really that difficult to go around with all that stuff. So, Davis, yeah? I've heard from you that this is a... What was it called again? It was like Dark Shonen? Seinen. Yeah, Seinen. What parts will be 18 plus like the topics? Oh, like a lot of blood, right? Like, for example, someone being burned into ash or something like that. Like scenes of violence, etc. I mean, as a matter of fact, like, you know, even transformations, like like those awakenings, right? Called alchemical overdrive. They're like exchanging someone's DNA. So literally a mask is like growing from someone's face. Like, for example, this is like actual piece of face, right? So it's like a mutation that happened rapidly. Like seinens, again, it's like action, but action 18 plus. So of course, like blood, cut off limbs, burning to crisp, etc. Like this kind of thing. I don't think I'm going to. All right, yeah. So the like, it's not going to be like a hentai. it's not. Don't worry. Oh. Twitch got disconnected for a sec. No, I see. Little Dev Bobber is cute. Let's go. Can't wait to see the finished piece. Lasso tool. I like it. Just found out about the lasso tool and I've been spamming it for coloring. That is actually really good for coloring when it comes to the tools. I plan on finishing it today. Let's go, let's go. Can't wait. Are you beating the manga or is the manga beating you? Hi Ryan, got to hear how your pen is going. I think it's for now it's the manga beating me. We'll see later. Ah. So actually folks, fingers crossed, because tomorrow I might actually be placing an offer to join the thing, you know, to get a client for which I'm going to be paid. Fingers crossed, E. Do you sleep easily? Um, that depends. Recently I am. I've had a moment in my life where I had problems sleeping and I had to sleep with and I had to take really strong sleeping pills. That's a mouthful. Yo, Davis, wanna know why we are drawing this character? Why? Because you really like the character? Try drinking tea, it's very soothing. I mean, to be fair as well, I can just drink coffee, because coffee is not working on me, so... Actually, I think he's having better waking up moment for me. I am right now doing really well with my sleep. I'm just, you know, playing something in the background, like I'm putting on my my headphones. I'm turning on something in the background, listening to like video or something. And I'm just falling asleep like that. It all started when a user on the Magma said, "Can you draw content creator Etsy in a cat-made outfit?" And they were like, "Heck yeah!" And then they drew it, and I convinced them to draw even more. And then after they drew 3, I realized that I might get overshadowed. Huh? I see. Yeah, it was a friendly and fun experience. The content creator was a dude, by the way. And he won't see it till like 2 weeks later. Oh my. That would be funny. Exactly. He's known nothing about it. Ooh. That's nice, that's nice. So, actually, I'm now pondering the... I'm actually pondering, like, more or less how I want to exactly show up the entire thing. And I think, like, the sketching way. Bobber. Yes, Bobber. Let's go. But yeah, I'm wondering how do I want to exactly push through this entire thing. Because I really think that Rino Tuna's that Rino Tuna's sketching style is going to be more fitting than normal manga art. Hi Hitori, good to be here. How your brain has gone? I'm not sure, but it might be the first time around, so hope you find a coffee corner here. If it's not the first time, then wow. It had to be quite a time, no? But hi, how are you? How have you been? Nah, it was Kurumi, but people started taking my name. What? How come? What happened? They started calling themselves Kurumi Ayami. Everyone? What do you mean, everyone? They wanna be me? For real, for real? Like, to be fair, my nickname is also being taken every now and then, but it's not really that original. Like, Moriarty literally has like a bunch of like media where that name comes up. I got a lot of people talking about me, so maybe that's why. Maybe. But you shouldn't have been changing your nickname. I think if you're like branding yourself a certain way, it's good to stay in one nickname even though people are like trying to take it. In games you can just call yourself like different names, but you should have stayed from Miami. Yes, okay, so... Oh, Chibi on screen is a vibe, yeah. Another funny story to tell is, yeah. Glad to hear you like the Chibi. There's another one cooking. One of my favorite art streamers, S channels, Shopcom 25 is followed by, yeah. Yeah, the chibi is so cute. Nice. Monomogi, who is an artist for Meriwether Comics, is drawing as fast as she can to get it done. Yeah. And I'm so happy for it. Me on Twitter, so does that make me... A guy who knows a gal who knows a gal that knows a guy. I mean, you don't know if they know them. Also, do you know those people actually? You know, just because someone follows you on Twitter doesn't mean you know them. Actually, knowing S-chan? Nah. E. I talk to her every stream. Your current hiatus. I can swear that she knows Monomogi. To be fair, I'm not sure if I know Monomogi or S-chan. As she talks about her on and off stream. Hi Joksai, glad to have you here. How are you? How's it going? How have you been? I think I just woke up and now I chill to your stream. Let's go. Let's go. Morning chilling. That's what I'm talking about. There we go. I have so many things to drink. Pepsi finished. Now coffee. Yes, it's 20 for me, and I'm drinking coffee. I need it. Honey, yeah? What's up? Why? I've actually made myself a coffee when I got back from work, which, you know, was normal. And it just stayed. It's not like normal coffee. It's like weaker coffee. It's not even a good coffee. Oh, hon. Mhm. Not good. I know. I know. I mean, I want to fall asleep after coffee, so I think that is also a bad idea because I'm just going to want to fall asleep faster. But I guess that'll be good to be knocked out sooner than later. Mhm. Bobek, let's go. I'm sorry that I'm not really talkative today. I mean, you know, I've been at work, so I was thinking going back to getting mental treatment. I mean, that is, you know, that is important. If you are not feeling good, if you are like, now that everything in my life is complete. Yeah, that's more or less how it went for me. I have more free time, yeah. Like for myself, I've actually waited until I would have a kind of job that would be able to sustain my treatment, give me meds that I would need, etc. Which was my previous job, and I just started attending treatment. You know, that's where I've received my strong sleeping pills, etc. Like I started to work on myself a bit more. And to be fair, ever since then, a lot of good things started to happen to me. Really. Even though Davis has a relaxing voice. Good to hear that. Damn, even though, Even though I've lost my previous job, I found a new one quite fast. And I have to say, it's a really good job. I'm really hoping that I'm going to receive my contract extension. And, you know, that we're going to go with other stuff. I also go back to drawing. Let's go. Hello, glad to have you here. How your brain is going? I think this is the first time serum, so hope we find a coffee corner here. How are you? Hey, so I'm thinking of working on a comic for a story I made, and I was wondering if you had any tips. Yeah, sure. First of all, you need to establish the pipeline that is going to work for you. So for example, my pipeline is working like this. Story sketch. So basically I'm making like a sketch of a story, right? Like, like the best way is the snowflake method, which is actually the method where you are making one sentence that is explaining the entire story from start to finish. Then you're splitting this into 3 sentences where you have beginning, middle, and end of the story in more detail. And then you're splitting those 3 sentences into 3 sentences more for each sentence, giving you 9 sentences in total for start, middle, mid, and end of your story. And then, for example, what I'm doing after that, I'm splitting this into as many sentences, as many chapters I want, right? It also works well for writing story for comic books, at least for starting. Second one, scenario. I have a story. What next? Scenario. Scenario works more or less as the drama. So if you, for example, seen Macbeth or any kind of like, you know, this story, like a story-driven, you know, scenarios, etc., it's literally going to look like the like that, or you know, like movie script, whatever, right? It's just a script. So each panel is enlisted with like details what's happening on there. You have all the dialogues with like, you know, a name in bold of the character and what it says. And for example, in brackets you have like screaming, silently, thinking, right? Or sound effects that are happening, like for example swing, and like through the entire thing you are making everything. After that, I'm making something called a thumbnailing, right? Like thumbnailing. It's exactly what you see underneath, right? So like where everything is going to be, every single, you know, panel, characters in a sketch form. And then I'm going for the 4th part, which is line work and finishing touches, right? So line and finish. So basically that's like my 4-point pipeline. Each artist actually goes for their own pipeline depending what they need, but I find this actually I find this one working the best for me. Another thing, try to like work around how to pan the story throughout what you want to show. So for example, a page supposed to be a scene, right? So you have a fighting scene, you have 2 characters fighting, so one character's trying to punch another, in another panel the character blocks, so you are showing like different stages of that like scene, right? That's why you need thumbnailing, because you want to plan out how that story is going to go, even though you have a scenario, right? And you know, then like paneling, how you want to work around the panels, etc. Hi the girls, glad to have you here. How are you? How's it going? I think this is the first time, so hope you find a coffee corner here. How are you? So yeah, it's more or less how everything goes around, you know, like with the with making the comic books. And when it comes to the later thing, yeah, I can tell you that it's more or less like just say you know more or less how you do. You want to advertise your comic book how you want to advertise your channel, so like around stuff, making some sketches of the characters, making illustrations of them, and like, you know, having the link somewhere, right? So people are going to sit down, they're going to read your manga, your comic book, your webtoon, whatever, and basically, you know, they're going to see like, hey, that's a nice character, I really like its personality, I really like that design, and they're starting to read the manga and they learn the story behind the character, right? For example, I'm talking way too fast today, and I'm so sorry for that. Yeah, if there's anything else you want to know, feel free. So, I work in LabWorks and it pays good. Even my profile picture has me wearing my lab coat. Hi the girls again. If since this is the first instance, hope you find the coffee corner here. How are you? If you have any questions about art, how you want to draw, or any question for tips, I'm always open. If you want to talk about something else than art, we are also open for those topics. Working as a nuclear technologist pay well. Yeah, that's where all those furries get the money from. Yes, very true, Davis. Paneling is very important. It's like a rough sketch of the storyboard. Yeah. I mean, panel, like, you are storyboarding, and paneling means you are making panels of the comic book. So I got that all. So I got that all down, but I don't normally do characters fighting characters. Here's my thing: I gotta draw characters fighting odd swamp creatures, and my hand is gonna suffer. Oof. I can tell you that it's oof. Like, it's going to be difficult, but good luck, actually. Good luck so much. I would really wish to see, you know, some sketches of yours, etc. Also prepare that comic books are going to get really on your skills, because it's not only drawing, but it's also storytelling, backgrounds, characters, poses, etc. It's, you know, there's a lot to it. I'm gonna draw the concept art first and I post it all. Yeah, let's go. Can't wait. Also, I'm intrigued by the story. What is it about? Well, are you talking about the choreography or the swamp cow? Bruh. Hold up, you said something about the story. What was that? What was it? So basically you want to... making a comic book is going to really get on your skills. Like, it's going to test out many different things about drawing. Storytelling, story writing, character background creating, character design, backgrounds, objects, right? Like posing, etc. Like comic books actually are not just drawing, but they're really complex medium. That's why you have whole teams working on them, because there's much more to it. And actually a lot of people are working not only just on artworks, but there are also people who are making the scenarios for the artists. Because it's actually the fastest way to output the chapter, right? They are receiving the story, right? The scenario people are writing scenarios, then scenes in the scenario are split into pages. Pages are given to artists. Each artist, let's say 5 people, get like 1 page each for, you know, for a rotation. Yeah, but in a 1-person studio. Same. Like, actually, I've been polishing my story for like a couple years now. I actually started when I was like 12, if that makes sense. I've started when I was 12. I'm 25 now, so it's been like 13 years of me drawing. I mean, drawing. I've had a couple attempts on that, but, you know, I've been mostly just ending up with remaking the story because I didn't really like how it was going. Now I've got something I'm quite happy with, so I'm happy to draw that. I originally was gonna have it as a podcast. Oh. Mm-hmm. And what is your story about, actually, if I can ask? It's about 4 teenagers killing creatures in the swamp. They to avenge one of the high schoolers who ended up missing in the swamp. That's nice. Is there more? Your voice is so calming. Thank you. Like, are you planning on doing more? That could be potentially just one arc of your story. You could build upon that. You know, make the story longer. Or you could add some more intrigue to that. And the swamp monster is going to be, you know, also causing the characters to like split, etc. There is, but it's a rough draft for the story for now. I see. I mean, yeah, like making rough drafts for the story. It is really important. So that's cool. I was working on a picture for a reveal on here. That's nice. That's really nice. One of the characters is just staring at the fire like, ooh. Wow. To be fair, I can't wait for the Saturday. We're going to play on my gaming channel, starting Yakuza 0. Wrong direction for the thumb. You're the kind of damnish one. You got the one who knows how to work on trucks and cars, one of the popular girls from the high school, the one who stole all the stuff from the store for them all. To be fair, that sounds like it could be like a very typical horror group, you know, like one of them is and little Dev Bobber onesie. Like, you know, you always have like this specific believing that you can predict who's going to die in horror movie, and you can be pretty accurate with that. Because there's quite often the irritating one, which quite often end up to be the popular girl, then the savvy guy, right? Then the dumb one, because he's like, oh, yeah, I think I'm going to survive, and then he's getting like a machete through his skull. And then you have the last one who's like caring for the entire team and survives the thing. Because the thing is, like, you want to usually get rid of the annoying character because you don't want the viewers to hate the annoying. You don't want viewers to be annoyed. So you are keeping their attention by getting all out of with the popular girl or the annoying character, and then it's all girls in the group because I don't know how to draw men. I see. Yeah, that works. I mean, guys are not really that difficult, to be fair. guys are actually not really that difficult. Women are more complex. So if you can draw women quite good, you can most likely draw men too. That's a fact. The burger isn't really annoying because of the situation. Yeah. Like I know what you mean. Like I was just talking about like a trope in the horror movies. There's like always a list to tick off. She's the only one who actually has a driver's license. Oh, I see. That's useful. Alright, so the guy who actually knows how to repair cars and stuff, he doesn't have the driver's license? He knows how to repair the cars, but he don't know how to drive them? Their parents won't allow them to get one. Ooh. That's nice. Not until they're 18. That is a really interesting concept for a story, to be fair. Which to me is just messed TF up. I mean, over here you can't even access the driver's license documentations if you don't have the... If you are not 18 plus and you don't have the ID card on you. So like, you know, for me that's like a normal thing. That you can't get the driver's license until you are 18. I'm assuming that in America it might be, you know, a bit different. Because I know that there's like, I think people from that are 16 can already start doing the thing. Yeah, but it's the South in the story, so no one gives to sushi. Oh. Yeah. The characters and their parents came from up north, so they care way more than anyone else. I see. Mm-hmm. Those two are the popular girl and the one that's good with cars and trucks. Oh, I see, I see. So is the popular girl 18 then? They all are. But you've mentioned that one of the characters can't receive the driver's license until they're 18. The one who knows how to repair cars. So I thought that actually the character is below 18 because, you know. Because of their parents? Oh, I see. I thought that it was like, you know, you're explaining that, you know, they are not allowing the person to receive the driving to access the driver's license because of the like until at least until they are, you know, 18 and stuff. Why I get it now, I think. Your parents are those parents who are like save the children on Facebook? Oh. I see, I see. Like there are snowflakes. Oh, I see, I see, I see. I just did leg extensions to till failure. Oh my. How much did your legs extended? Use the calves in weeks. I see, see. I've been rot maxing for the entire summer, bruh. Does that mean? I have no idea. Please send help. But I still like adding to the story, and I think I'm gonna make a timeline chart. This is also really good thing to do. Yeah, do it definitely. timeline charts. Perfect. Because you can always shift around certain things, you know? Certain events. Oop. Yeah. Every time on live streams my keyboard freaks out, bro. That's alright. Blep. Blep. Grabs your tongue. You fell into my trap. No. Hi. Call me Cicada, by the way. What manga are you making? Hi Cicada, Gatevi here. How are you hoping it's going? I'm making a manga about my Vtuber OC, actually, because I've took my Vtuber OC from my manga that I've been working on for a long time now when it comes to the story, and I want to finally start putting out the chapters of it. Hey, one of the things on the timeline will be two girls screaming at each other about characters from an indie show. Bruh, imagine. There will be they drive over big bug thing with a SUV. Oh my! Just imagine. Oh, the good ones is popular girl gets slapped in the face, bruh. Perfect. Imagine. That would be so funny. Can't wait. Can't wait. I really like more or less the stories that you're mentioning. Karma, yeah. I really can't wait to see your story. It does appear to be really interesting. I really like this kind of stories. Okay, and we have one more aspect to do right here, and we should be good. Okay. Originally was gonna have a little scene where two of the girls talk to each other. It was gonna start a side thing where they kind of like each other. I mean, you want to kind of like plan out, you know, things like that if you want elements like this. Yeah, but I don't really know if I should do it or not. I mean, that depends on you. Like, if you want to have it, like, you can also do a thing where you are going to make like characters interact with each other, and after a while, you are going to see which characters are getting shipped the most, and you can just make connection like that. Like, guess what? That's exactly how Naruto's thing worked. Like, Naruto could be with Sakura or with Hinata, and actually, like, the most ships were going to Sakura, to Naruto and Hinata. That's why they are together. Same with Sasuke and Sakura. You weren't really hinted like, oh, I like this character. Like, okay, kinda, but it was never really like explored to the point that could literally explain like where is it going, you know? Because Naruto was after Sakura, Hinata was after Naruto, Sakura was after Sasuke, right? So that's like that. And in the end, Sarada wasn't even Sakura's legitimate child at this point, because she's actually taking care of her for Sasuke at this point. So yeah, like, shipping is something that can actually push certain aspects of the story. I mean, I don't typically write relationships in my stories, and if I do, the other character is either missing or just gone. Oh well. I mean, one of the things, like, to rethink, well, if it's even necessary, what impact is that relationship is going to have on the story, right? Like, for example, there's an impact of a romance for continuation of the story. Like, Naruto and Hinata got together, had a son Boruto, bam, you have Naruto to Boruto, right? So you have the continuation of the story with the son of the character. You have a thing to... You can have a fling to add drama, to add different like feelings to the story, right? Like, oh, I feel at this point we don't really have much to spice up the story. Let's make a fling between characters and we will see how far we can go with it, right? And you're not doing anything that would like impact the story as much or change things, but it is going to fill things in because it's going to show like, oh, okay, so they have emotions, right? The characters have emotions, they can feel, they actually can love someone. So it's starting to like throw in the reader into some kind of like, you know, pondering, like, okay, so if that character likes this one, I don't think they are going to work together, right? Or out of nowhere the character evolves because of that character, right? Like, for example, you have a relationship where a character is explaining something, right? Like, you know, there's a hardship, the characters that they are together, they're like, you know, like, you know, one character has issues with, for example, the parents, another character comes in, oh hey, yeah, I understand, my parents are like this too. You know, I've actually like thought of like, you know, freak it and doing something, and like they are showing, for example, a hidden tattoo that they've done in secret from their parents, and it's like building up the entire thing, giving the ideas of a character that is experiencing hardships. Like, relationships can actually be a really good tool also to like write the character a bit deeper. Hello, Raisin. Glad to have you here. How are you? Hope it is going. Very well, and everyone here is also doing well. Thank you, thank you. I'm doing good, doing good. How are you yourself? So yeah, do whatever you feel like. Like, if you feel like if you feel like making a relationship, go ahead. It can have a lot of like story things. You can do it later, out of nowhere, just because like you have no other ideas. Just remember to like make it. Kind of has an impact on the story because of people in the town not like relationships who aren't just boy and girl. Still really good thing to just make that relationship, right? Like girl and girl, you know? Why not? People don't like it, okay. That opens some more aspects, some more stories, themes. You can make some characters actually knowing each other already from the childhood, but one character moved for a while, and after they came back, like they are re-exploring their feelings to each other. They have issues to one another that, oh, how could you leave me, etc. Like, what are you talking about? We were like 16 at that time. Yeah, you know, what, why not I'm doing it? Yeah, like, those are thematics, right? Something to explore, something to write about. It's always good to have more ideas and more, you know, windows to look through. Like, you never know what aspect is going to be useful further down the road. Like, the more I was looking into the characters, the more I started developing them, the more things I've started to change, because, like, for example, Davis is supposed to be a lone wolf. Davis shouldn't really like people. He's supposed to be like that, you know, kind of savage coming from like desert, right? Like, he should be a nomad, pure of heart. Yada yada yada. So like I wasn't expecting to give him a relationship, but there he is. He actually is going to have a relationship, right? There's a character in there. Right? That character is, you know, started to actually, you know, now that I knew that Davis could actually have a relationship, I've changed some pieces of the story into like, oh, so that character is going to constantly go with Davis, they are going to explain something to each other, right? Like, yada yada yada. That character is also going to, you know, improve, also going to have hardships, because, for example, she might feel inferior because, like, you know, Davis is, of course, he's a main hero, so he's going to be like, you know, stronger in aspects because it's a main hero. Meanwhile, I have OCs that turn from lovers to enemies. That can also work. Oh, yeah. And yeah, like, if you are going to be tired of something, you can always make them, like, get into argument and turn into enemies. Team might fall apart, then something might happen again, team starts to gather up, they're like, I can't believe you are here, etc. But later down the road, they're like, okay, maybe you are not as bad as I thought, but I still don't want to be with you. Kind of thing, so they're just becoming friends, then you can, for example, make them re-explore the lovers, right? Yada yada yada. Like, you never know. You never know. It's really good to, like, go around stuff. I'm over here with my stories barely reaching a point like relationship. Yeah. I think complications to dynamics is actually fun to explore in your characters. Yeah. Like Davis, for example, is going to have a lot of complications because he never really knew who his mother is, and everyone was always calling him a monster. He, you know, he had his father to be someone that he also never seen, actually. So that's that. Later down the road, he learns some stuff. He's exploring himself deeper after he learns some stuff. Hi Skylar, good to be here. How are you? Hoping it's going? So yeah, like, you never know. Like, to be fair, there are some aspects that I've decided to keep on, and those are, oh, interesting, I love it. Yeah. But I think I may or may not have the idea because me starting to like girls lol. I see, I see. Oh, yeah. So, Skylar, how are you? How have you been? Did you read something or seen some new anime or movies? Good. Sleepy Little Debbie. Who's Skylar? She on YouTube chat, right? She's also a viewer. There's a Demon Slayer movie coming out next month. Oh, that's really nice. That is really nice. How are you? I'm doing good. Doing really good. Bro, my internet is so lagging. Don't worry, it's okay. So yeah, you know, writing stories, doing stuff, it's like, you know, it's like a thing. How, JK? Love you, Muto. He's so handsome. Yes, he is. I see. And I may or may not have a little idea for the creatures in this one. Yeah, I mean, also, you know, monster design is really important, right? Like, a lot of stuff should be designed from the get-go. Like, I know, for example, how my characters should look like, because I've already designed them a bunch of times and redesigned over time. But yeah, like, this is really important. Character design, monster design. Like, I know how goblins should look like, I know how elves should look like, I know how dark elves should look like, dwarves, humans, how alchemists' body is working, because actually their body is working differently because they have like additional organ, right? It's always my favorite genre of story. Same. I really like horror movies. You're so talented though. Thank you. Thank you. I don't like scary stuff. Like, personally, I've actually was attending a horror boot camp. So we were learning how to write horror stories, how to do stuff. But like, I'm scared. I see. Shows like Murder Jones and Eerie Stories and all I love. Like, I've I guess I can show it. I've had a commission to design a monster. We were supposed to base it off of the... There it is. Off of the Thing. But actually it's supposed to be like a chemical burned melted bodies. Holy, yeah. So like mangled up, burned, bubbled up, you know, thing. It's beautiful. Thank you. I don't Titan Bleach Demon Slayer and Death Note is about as much as I can handle. Actually, Attack on Titan, like, okay, there's some blood. Bleach, there might be some blood too, but I wouldn't say that it's like a typical horror. Demon Slayer, okay. Also blood. Death Note, I don't think Death Note could be accustomed to that. Hey, that reminds me, there's an MHA character named Mezo Shoji. Is multi-arms. Oh yeah, I know that one. Yeah. Yeah, he kind of looks like him. Imagine how I can't quirk. What's Bleach? Because generally I don't know. It's like the there's a guy who sees ghosts, and generally he finds one day a girl in his room who appeared to be Shinigami. I thought of the clothes Bleach. So basically the guy, after some like weird stuff, he gets turned by that girl into Shinigami too. But that girl loses her powers, then they are starting to be friends, and just genuinely they're like, you know, unraveling a lot of the things. He, like, main hero actually gets a bit better, you know, hold on to his Shinigami powers. but he finds out that what the Shinigami did was like a bit of illegal in Shinigami world because she like passed on her powers to him, but she shouldn't. The only anime I've ever watched was Studio Ghibli. I see. I mean, Ghibli movies are actually peak, to be fair. They are peak. Yeah, Bleach is quite good, actually. I really like Bleach. Ponyo was so good, lol. Ponyo, wasn't it like the freshest movie from Ghibli? I don't think I've seen it. I've seen Princess Mononoke, I've seen Howl's Moving Castle, you know, like OGs. Spirited Away. Yeah, I can recommend Bleach. I can definitely recommend Bleach. It's really good. It's really good, yeah. It is. What are you pleading for, Muto? Something. I see. Cute head tilts, yeah. I see. Also, is pleading good wording? Not sure. I swear I still have a drawing on my wall because of the YouTube AI age estimation thing. That's gonna happen. I see. Yes, okay. I don't know why, but it reminds me of that, you know. What are you pleading for? Guilty! You know? Sorry if you can hear my dog. He's howling. Doggo, yeah. Is a drawing of YouTube blog a person saying we are going to be using AI to guess your age on your app, on our app? I mean, think of the kids, right? And then a drawing of me thinking something isn't right. Yeah. And I hand reaching for a foil hat, bro. AI using estimation. Okay, so I'm 25 and let's say I'm watching a lot of video games and for example especially Minecraft, right? Because I have like a Minecraft phase. So what YouTube's AI is going to literally think that I'm a kid despite of me being like a 25-year-old dude. Like that's I first hear about the thing. That's so irritating. Yes, bruh. Because like also it doesn't really make sense what they've been thinking of when it comes to like who's adult and who's not. Is because they are basically wanting your ID. I mean, I'm in Europe. It's actually, it might be even against the RODO. Like companies can't necessarily, you know, hold someone's ID for any kinds of purposes because of the private information protection. So like, you know, if they want to break EU laws, like go ahead. Like, you know, people are just going to start suing them and stuff over here. And I wonder how long it's going to last, the decision, but whatever. Also, despite the fact that the companies have such fragile servers that anyone can literally access them, and yet they are still sitting down and expect people to give them their IDs and shit. Because like that's that, right? Like they're like all those companies are gangsta unless people until people are starting to sue them for the law they are breaking. Same with Nintendo. Like, do you think why Nintendo has been actually having a bit of an issue in Europe? Because they wanted to introduce the thing that they can remotely turn off your, you know, turn off access to your console, but they literally cannot do that in Europe because it's breaking the EU laws about, you know, buying and selling. Because here's the thing, it's not the fact that it's not the sheer fact that they are actually selling. They can't say that they are selling you possibility to access the console if you are buying the entire console physically, right? It would be something else if they would, like, for example, start selling like this games on Steam, let's say, right? Sure, yeah. Boops. Boop. I think the problem with platforms is that they are really having it good. Like, someone really has to start paying more attention to what they're doing. Like Twitch, okay, like when it comes to the Twitch, people can say a lot about it, like, oh, double standards, women are prioritized, especially the ones that are making, you know, sitting in jacuzzi in bikini, and not people who are actually trying to do content, yada yada yada. And like, you know, they can say a lot, but when it comes to Twitch, I think it's much better platform, like straight up, because like I'm already like partnered with them. Like I'm literally capable to just sit down and you know, just do advertisements on their, if a company would want to, they can sponsor me, right? Like this kind of thing. So I think the issue with YouTube is that they are literally way too greedy for everything. And what they are going to do with the IDs afterwards, sell them. Like literally it's only for sell. Why else? It's literally not for proving the fact that, you know, it's literally not because they want to protect the kids, because it's not doing anything. They are not doing anything to protect the kids, actually. It's not a measure to take to protect the kids. The issue is with, because like if the kid wants to, they are still going to access stuff for the adults. Because for example, the adults are going to, like, you know, imagine I'm getting my ID scanned, I'm throwing it on YouTube, and I'm giving the whatever video on YouTube to my kid that's like 6-year-old. It's still the same. They are literally trying to make things more difficult for content creators this way. Literally, there's no other solution for that. Because how else? Why? What else can be done? Like the only issue is the fact that we have a kid. Not yet. Yet. But yeah, the thing is, like, YouTube is literally thinking that they are going to introduce bullshit things to say, oh, because we want to protect the kids, while they are going to just still sit down and you know, huge content creators that, for example, are swearing and other stuff, they are going to receive mad letters from parents because they are swearing on their videos while their 6-year-old kid is watching, despite the content creator actually has the for adults category marked on their video. Yeah, definitely, it's like, you know, it's not a problem with the parents not taking care of the kids, right? And I think the problem is that YouTube literally doesn't have an alternative. And this is why they are allowing themselves for something like this. I think if the YouTube creator would sit down and actually actually create the new thing and advertise it, people would quickly, on an instant, move from YouTube to that platform, because it would be better, less restrictions, more creative power, for example, right? That will be it. Because right now YouTube is way too big to have any contender. Like, no one is going to even think about making a contender for YouTube, even though it's literally on such a thread that if any other platform like YouTube would appear, a lot of people would just switch there. It would be slow transition, but people would start going there. For sure. Because YouTube is messing up so badly right now. Like already, like okay, I've started streaming on YouTube, so I'm streaming on YouTube. But a lot of streamers are still streaming on Twitch. Why? Because it's a streaming platform. YouTube streams is such a small scene on YouTube. It's unbearable. You know? Because it's a video platform. Of course it's a video platform, right? It's YouTube. But the problem is that even though they've made this streaming available, they are not taking care of it. It's very difficult for you to become huge on YouTube simply by streaming. You know? You need to make videos, you need to make like some kind of video formats to actually grow on YouTube, because otherwise it's impossible. Twitch is making that actually simpler, like way more simpler, literally. That's why I think that, you know, looking around, like how you know, like how actually YouTube is operating, how Twitch is operating, like you can see you know, behaviors, right? Like you can see ways of how this thing works. I'm back. I had to help someone with something. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. So basically the same thing happened with kind of Twitter and Blue Sky. You know why it didn't really fire up? Because Blue Sky didn't make necessary steps. They've had the first steps, which were the most important, but they had to keep going. You know, they had to keep on doing what they're supposed to do. Right now, Blue Sky is not really that huge. You know, it's not really that huge. That's also why Twitter is still a Twitter. You know, why Twitter is a Twitter. Also Reddit, like you are not going to see any other site like Reddit. You ask like, oh, that forum about that thing, Reddit. Literally. Everything is Reddit. So I think there are just platforms that are too big to, you know, do anything. But yeah. Alrighty folks, I'll be wrapping up. We've got the first page done. No text box, I'm going to do that later. I on English wants to look at English, and I wasn't disappointed. I see. So, Muto, thank you for being active chat on Twitch. Thanks, T-Zev, Rylan, Hitori, Joksai, Liar, The Girls, People Order are Paddies, Raisin, and Skylar for being active chat on YouTube. Meanwhile, I hope to see you all in the next one. Take care.